everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nadia and today I'm going to be making simple string bag lined with overlay pocket. Well, this one doesn't have any pockets inside, but it's fully lined, something like this. Very simple. I'm going to be using these two fabrics. This is light gray, very pretty. That's going to be lining, and this is dark gray. Both of them are cotton. This one is more heavy. So I'm gonna be making the string bag with overlay pocket and overlay. I am going to use I have this piece of leather for the overlay, so we'll see how it's gonna come out. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lining. We are going to make a pocket in the lining. First of all, a lining is the size 17 inches by 17 inches by 15 inches. You need two pieces, and you also need two pieces same size, 17 by 15 inches of interfacing. This is, I'm using woven interfacing Plan SF 101. So we're gonna put the interfacing on, infuse it, iron it on, press it. We're gonna press it on. We also we are going to make a pocket. So I cut out 9 inches by 2 inches leather piece. We're gonna make an overlay. We're gonna need we also need, this is the pocket lining. It's 9 inches by 8 inches, and same thing, we're gonna interface it also to 9 inches by 8 inches interfacing Plan SF 101. So we're gonna interface the pocket, and we're gonna interface a lining. It's all interface. We're gonna put it on the side for a second, and we're gonna work on the overlay. So like I said, I cut up 9 inches by 2 inches. This is leather. You can use vinyl, but no cotton because it would not work. Only a vinyl, cork, leather, any of those materials that you don't have to treat the edges. Okay, so flip it over, and we're gonna mark 1 inch from each corner. I already did it, so it's right here, and 1 inch here. Same thing on that side, both sides. 1 inch here and 1 inch here, and we're gonna measure 1/2 inch from each corner on the shorter side. Okay, so 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, same thing here. I already marked this, and we're gonna connect those dots right here. Do the same thing in here, and we're gonna make a shape. You can make whatever shape you want. You can even leave it rectangle, or you can round it, whatever you like. Okay, I'm just gonna finish these lines, and we are gonna cut it out. Does it really same? No. Okay. All right, so we're gonna cut these corners. You can actually rather use a rotary cutter. This mat is not I cannot use the rotary cutter on this mat, but can use rotary cutter. I kind of use the scissors. Very careful because it's kind of moving a little bit. Okay, so that corner and this corner. Okay, now we're gonna find a middle, which is, because it's 2 inches, so we're gonna find 1 inch in the middle. We'll make a line. It's not the same, is it? Oh. Okay. And we are gonna measure, find a middle right here. Okay, it's 9 inches, so it's gonna be 4.5 inches on each side. Mark that. Okay, and from there we're gonna make an opening 7 inches by 1/2 inch. So this is 9 inches, so we're gonna subtract inch from each side, which is gonna be 7 inches. Okay, right here. And then we're gonna mark 1/4 in on each side of the half of the middle line. Same thing here, and then we're just gonna connect the edges, the ends. Okay. And now we take the seam ripper and we're gonna cut out, gonna open, make a hole. Just be careful, don't go all the way to the edge. Be careful. All right, so make a hole and then cut it all around and make the opening there. Okay, so I cut out the overlay. If you have a rotary cutter, use rotary cutter on letter, which I did on the second one because the first one didn't kind of work out with the scissors. Well, anyway, take one of the sides of the lining, find the middle, and measure 5 inches from the top. Let's see. I'm using this air erasable pen, so mark 5 inches, and then that's where we're gonna start. That's where we're gonna put the overlay, but find the middle of the overlay as well, so we know exactly where you're gonna put it. Okay. Okay, something like this. We are going to use a double tape. So we're gonna put a double tape. I'm gonna use the thinner one in the middle, somewhere between the lines. It's gonna help us to hold it in a place. And the other side too, because a letter doesn't want to stay in a place sometimes. take the paper off if I can. This looks straight. Take the other side. Okay. So straight, kind of. Okay, and now we're gonna top stitch around the outer line, all around the outer line. So I sewn the outer line, and now we have to make the opening here. So we're gonna use seam ripper, make a hole inside, and flip it over, and we're gonna cut out. Just be careful, don't cut into the overlay, but you can cut this out very close to the seam. So whatever you cut out, it's fine, because you won't be able to see it from nowhere. Just follow the lines. Maybe you can use a different scissors, not the ones I have. All right, so now we're gonna flip this over. We're gonna put this aside for now, and we are gonna work inside pocket. Okay, so this is just a sticker because this is the pocket lining, and I put a sticker on since both sides are white, so this way you can see which side is where. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take I am using a zipper tape. I cut up it's a 10 inches long. It's a little wider than the lining because it's gonna be easier to sew it in later on. I mean the zipper sewing with the overlays, so you will see. So I cut up a 10 inches zipper tape, a little longer. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna line it up with the edge of the lining. We can use pins or clips. You can use clips to clip them together, or you can actually use double side tape. I'm gonna put it in here. So to make sure it stays in a place. Take the top off, and let's see. Center it to make sure it's straight, and we have enough at the end, both sides of the zipper tape. So we're gonna baste the zipper tape for now. All right, this side is basted. So now we're gonna take the other lining. So this is the right side, this is the right side. So we're gonna face the right sides, those stickers together, lift the zipper, and we're gonna put it right by the edge, and gonna baste it the same way we did before. Okay, so both sides are basted on the lining, and now we can open this. We can take those stickers off. Okay, and we can press it with iron. Make sure it's properly open, both sides, nicely. So now you're gonna leave it open like this. We're gonna take the lining. So I'm going to put a double side tape. You can put it right on the seam, what we just made. Okay, first we're gonna peel off the top. Okay, gonna put on, make sure it's somewhere in the middle. Okay, the edges are with the edges of the overlay. We're gonna put it on. Make sure it's straight. Push it on. Push it on. Then lift this and peel the other side. Peel the other double side tape. Just lay it right over this. So now we are going to top stitch this side, that side, and back, and we're going to stop right here. Before we sew this side, we are going to put on the zipper pull, and then we're going to pull it through the hole inside in here, and then top stitch the rest of this overlay. All right, so I all top stitched the middle rectangle. So now we're gonna flip this over, like this way. So we're gonna cut the extra zipper tab out of the way. All right, and the other side too. The other side as well. Okay. Now we're gonna flip the top part of the pocket over. We're gonna clip these together all around. Or you can use the pins, whichever you like. We can cut the bottom piece. Gonna take this, we're gonna take the lining out of the way, so we don't want to cut it into it. You know what, I'm gonna put a couple of pins here to make sure it stays in a line, and we can cut the extra piece. We have an extra piece because we flipped this over. There's the difference there. Okay, so we're gonna cut the extra piece out of the way. We don't need it there anymore. And what we are going to do, we're gonna flip this lining front toward you, and you move this side out of the way, and you're gonna stitch all this around. Then you're gonna flip this out of the way, gonna stitch it with 1/8 seam allowance, and we do the same thing in here. We don't want to sew into the lining. I stitched this all together, so this panel, this side is done. We're gonna put it aside for now, and we are going to make the stripe panel. It's actually gonna come right here. So we are going to cut 2 pieces, 11 by 3.5 inches, 2 pieces, and same size 11 by 3.5 inches of interfacing just to make it a little bit stronger. So we're going to interface these two pieces and we'll continue. Now just measure 1/4 inch from the shorter side on both of them. Make a mark. Do the both sides. Fold this over and press it, and then fold it over again and press it again, like I did on this side, like I did on this one. Fold it, pressed it, and fold it again. Fold it this way, press it, and fold it again. We do both of them. We are going to stitch it together, all 4 sides. Okay, now we're gonna fold it in half. You can actually press it with iron and clip them together. And we're just gonna baste it to hold it in place. It's easier to sew it on the lining. Do the both sides. Okay, now we're going to find the middle of the lining. You can just mark it with a marker or clip it with the scissors. Okay, that's the middle there, and we're gonna find the middle of this part. All right. I'm gonna put it on the top of each other and clip them together. We'll do the same thing on the other side. On the other part of the lining, we'll find the middle. We'll make a mark. Let me see, make sure it's okay. It's right here. I'll find a middle on this part. We put the middle points on top of each other and clip them together. And again, we're gonna baste them with 4 or 5 stitch length with 1/8 of seam allowance. Right now, we're gonna face these 2 linings together. We're gonna clip them all around, and we are going to leave about maybe 5 inches opening on this side, so this way we can flip it over through this hole. So we're gonna clip them together. We're gonna leave this open so it's all clipped. So we're gonna stitch up here, leave this open, and stitch all around the rest of it. This is the top. We're gonna leave this open. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut a little bit out of the corners so it fits properly inside. Let me just see. You can cut it this way. Both sides. Okay, Okay, and we can put this on the side for now. And now we are going to do the same. This is the main front fabric, same size, 2 pieces of the main fabric and 2 pieces of the interfacing. We can interface this for now, and we're gonna also interface these are gonna be the strap loops. Actually, they're gonna be here on the bottom. So this is the size. This is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Okay, we need 2 main fabrics and 2 interfacing. So we can interface this all 4 pieces. So we're gonna put these 2 pieces on the side for now, and we are going to work with these 2 pieces for loop. So what we're gonna do, fold it in half, compress it with the iron, and then see the line in the middle, and then you're gonna open it and press the edge toward the middle line, and do the same thing from the other side. Press it and fold it, and it's gonna look like this. Press it, both of them. And once we're done with pressing, we're going to dab stitch all around the edges. Right now, we can fold this in half again, and you can actually kind of baste it around the edge with 1/8 of the inch, both of them. Okay, now we're gonna take one of the pieces, one of the main pieces, main fabric. We are going to measure 1 inch from the bottom corners on each side. Make a marks. So you're gonna put the loop by the mark and clip it there. Same thing on the other side, and we can baste it before we sew it together. All right, so now I'm gonna take the other piece of the front, face them together, and we're gonna clip these together. We're gonna stitch together 3 sides. Right now we're gonna cut the corners again. Just be careful, don't cut into the seam, just to make it a little slimmer. Just it's gonna fit better in the corners. Okay, so before we flip this over, we're gonna use the iron, press all the seams open, so it's gonna look nice. And do same thing with the lining. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip over the main fabric, the front. Flip this over, you can poke the corners out. Be careful, don't make a hole there. Okay, we're gonna insert this into the lining. I'm gonna use a pins. I'm gonna use the clips. Line up the seams. Clip this all around and sew it with 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, now you're gonna flip this over through this hole, through this side hole in lining. corners out. We can actually press this. Before we put the lining inside, we have to close the hole, the opening right here. So we can get a couple pins so we can close it. Okay, so the opening is closed. What are we gonna do now? Now we're gonna put the lining, push the lining inside. And we are going to press this again, and we're gonna top stitch right around the edge, like 1/8 inch seam allowance, or whatever you like. All right, now it's time to make the straps. So I cut up 2 pieces of the main fabric, which is 82 inches by 2 inches long. If you don't have such a length, you can always cut half at half an inch on each part, only one side, and sew it together, and you can make 82 inches. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to gonna show you with the iron. We're going to first do the edges. So we're gonna fold the edge like 1/4 inch, press it, and then fold it again, and press it again, and do same thing on the other end. And then we're gonna fold this in half, press it, and do it all the way to the end. And then we're gonna open this, and then we're gonna fold the edge toward the middle, press it again. Just be careful, don't press the whole thing, just the edge, so it stays in shape. That's what we want, the shape we want it. And then turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. The edge toward the middle, fold, and once we do it all the way to the end, we're gonna fold this all together and press it again, and we have a stripe which we just need to sew, which I did already. I didn't sew this one, but I already pressed this all, so that's how it looks like all. And then we're just gonna top stitch starting one of the corners and stitch it. You can stitch just one side, the one which is open. Do both of them. Okay, one last thing to do is to thread those strings. Okay, so first we have this safety pin. We put it through one end of the strip, and we'll thread it through the side hook, and then we'll go straight up, go through this hole all the way the other end, and then we'll flip this over and go through the opposite side. And then as we went through this, we pulled it all the way down through the hoop again. No, we don't. So we're gonna pull it all the way down and make a knot. Just make sure it's straight the way you want it, and just make the knot on the end, both ends together. And then we'll do exactly the same thing with the other one, but on the other side. So we're gonna put the safety pin in one end, hook it through one of the loops, and then we'll go through this side all the way through, pull it out, and then flip it over again and go through the opposite side. Just push and pull, push and pull. Pull it out, flip it back again. We'll take the safety pin off and make a knot again, both ends together, and here it is. And there you have it. Perfect. This is how it looks like, all said and done. I'm just gonna put some fabric on it and put it in my bag so you can see. It's a decent size. I think it's a good size. All right, so hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye.